Hello, Internet, and welcome to my live reaction for the Cuckoo's Fiancee, Chapter 44. When we last left our heroes, Erika finally came clean to Nagi about why she has been so focused on her Instagram for the past several years, or few years. The timetable is a little bit unclear. But it's because she has an older brother, who is Nagi's blood brother, so he's a dead ringer for Nagi. Nagi hilariously cares very little about the fact that he has a blood-related older brother, and is more interested in helping Erika reunite with her brother. Um, and in doing so, he goes to visit Mr. Amino. What will happen there, we don't know. Interestingly enough, Mr. Amino does refer to Nagi as my one and only son, which is definitely an interesting thing to bring up. In the chapter, we learn he has another son. All that being said, let's jump right on into 44th Foul. Haven't you figured it out yet? And our picture here is of a young Erika with a very large teddy bear. A Couple of Cuckoos has the best-selling first volume in all Kodansha series. Also, the series is starting to be translated as A Couple of Cuckoos. I very much don't like that translation over Cuckoo's Fiancé. I just think it flows better. But it has the best-selling first volume of all Kodansha series in 2020. So this means there are 3 siblings now. The existence of Erika's brother has come to light, and supposedly he's Nagi's biological brother. The first step in finding him, a confrontation with Dad. And so we have a flashback to, I think this is Erika's brother. Alrighty, I'm done studying, so I'm going to take off. Young Erika asks him, "What? You're not going to wait for me? I don't see how you taking so long is my fault. I'm going to hurry home. I want to keep playing that game from yesterday." We have a flashback of Erika showing him this game. It looks like kind of Mario-esque, except that there's a Shobas there. Of course there are. And we see Erika realizing he's about to go play without her, starts to cry. And then she leaves wherever they were studying. It's unclear. It doesn't seem like it's their house, but there's like a fancy gate, so maybe it is? I don't know. But as she leaves, she notices her brother sitting on the ground beside her. "Big bro, what took so long? You waited for me? You took so long, it's already going to be time for dinner. Thanks to you, I can't play my game." But, playing by myself is boring. And we see Erika very, very happy that her brother waited for her. It's more fun beating you. And then it seemed like she's been telling this story to Sachi, who just nods. "Ugh, I so get it. Like, if you're gonna wait anyway, why not just say that?" And Sachi responds, "Nagi used to do that to me all the time." And then Sachi continues, "But wow, I can't believe it. You had a big brother this whole time?" And then all of a sudden she gets a sudden flash of realization. "Wait, that means my brother has a brother?" And Erika looks at her. Nagi-kun didn't seem surprised at all. "Yeah, he's kind of weird." I mean, it really is just kind of Nagi's whole worldview of, his family is the people who raised him and not who he's blood related to. Even though, Sachi and Erika both have very different stances by that, though not entirely with Erika. She still seems to see, I think Sachi, so I'm going to get a quick little trichotomy here. Nagi sees family as solely who he was related to, or who raised him, who he was raised with. Sachi sees family as entirely being blood, which allows her to kind of be into Nagi. And Erika sees them both as her family. It's why she sees her brother as her brother, and Sachi as her sister at the same time. But anyway, that being said, let's move right along. And then Sachi looks at the photo of Erika's brother. "He's a little different than I'd imagine." "What do you imagine?" "Well, he'd be like if Nagi was raised all rich. So, like, a celebrity version of Nagi? Someone nicer, I guess." And we see Sachi's vision of Erika's brother just handing someone a huge stack of money. "You're such a good girl. Have some money." And Erika asks, "What kind of impression do you have of celebrities?" And then Erika puts a reins on her parade a little bit. "Hate to break it to you, but he's not nice at all. Like, I tried to prank him, but he never played along. Or one time, all I did was eat his ice cream, and he gave me the silent treatment. Oh, and God forbid I erase his save data on his games. He gets so mad. And he never told me how cute my hair was. Like he didn't treasure me as his little sister at all." Um, yeah, she's just kind of going on a rant here. I'm not quite sure what we're supposed to take away from this rant. Um, like, like, I don't know. And he doesn't get pranked by her is not exactly an unnice thing. The silent treatment seems fair. Same with the save data on the games, though we don't know how mad he got. I don't know. It's a really weird rant, given that she doesn't seem to. I don't know. I'm not entirely sure where I'm going with this. It's just a weird thing. But Sachi just looks at her and then takes her straw out of her mouth. Wow. What? If he's everything the Lady Erika says he is, he sounds like he was a great brother. And Erika looks at her. What's that supposed to mean? What do you think it means? And then she goes back to pour herself some more of her drink. But I thought it was weird before. You fell into the big sister role for me so quickly. And Erika was kind of prideful. Naturally, I am your big sister after all. Not what I mean. Huh? It's because you understood how I feel as a little sister. That's what I mean. And Erika's kind of taken aback by that. And then she kind of looks away a little embarrassed. You think? Yep, I do. I'm also going back to my confusion with the rant earlier. Sachi's reaction is also kind of weird. He sounds like he was a great brother. I mean, she didn't really hear a whole lot about him. Though maybe I'm looking way too deep into this. Anyway, Erika continues, well then, the way you feel about Nagi-kun, maybe I feel the same way. Don't you fucking do this to me, Yoshikawa. Don't you fucking do this. Given that Sachi's feelings towards Nagi have been portrayed as explicitly romantic, or at least, explicitly romantic. I was thinking exclusively, and that's not what I said. As distinctly romantic. Implying that Erika feels the same way towards her brother. Yoshikawa, why? Why? You don't have to keep doing this. You don't have to actively tank your series at every possible point. And we see Sachi kind of stunned at that. I don't know about that necessarily. Oh no, I think maybe, to give Yoshikawa a bit more credit, Erika does not realize that Sachi's feelings for Nagi are explicitly romantic. Which is why she reacts so, so much like that. And Erika responds, what's with the shift in mood? Then Sachi turns back to Erika. Well, I hope you find him soon. I want to meet him. And Erika responds, yeah. I wonder if Nagi will be okay. Me too. Are we finally going to get to see what's going on with Nagi? Yes, because we then finally transition into Mr. Amano's office, where he and Nagi are chatting. And Mr. Amano says, alright, next up. I think he's showing a bunch of pictures of Erika as a child. I'm not entirely sure how we got into what happened to lead to this conversation. This is from when Erika was 3. She was such a bossy pants. She'd insist on wearing her bear dress all the time. Alright. On the days we made her wear a different dress, she'd turn into this. She'd spend the whole day throwing a fit, and we see her on the ground, throwing a temper tantrum. I guess some things don't ever change. And Nagi just, stares at Mr. Amano, which makes me think Mr. Amano is deliberately avoiding something. We see another picture. Oh, this was a foot race we had in the garden. She was fast. She was fast on her feet. Great reflexes, too. Not the best student, though. This is a picture, and we see another one. This is a picture of her refusing to eat her veggies. For a while, the only thing she'd eat was hamburger steak. We had no idea what to do with her. Alright, how about the age 4 album next? She's adorable in this one, too. Okay. And Nagi finally stops him. I'm not going to stop asking. Why does Erika-san say she has a brother? And Mr. Amano says she doesn't. So, why does she say she does? So he's denying it? But he put the picture there at the lodge, right? That's the picture that Hiro saw of Erika and her brother together. I have a biological brother. Erika-san was pretty clear about it. She said she lived with him when she was young. She even showed me a picture of someone that looked just like me. I want to know. Where is he? What is he doing? Mr. Amano avoids the question. What do you want from me? He doesn't exist. Okay. And Nagi's kind of taken the back before he continues. I'll tell you what I want from you. I want to talk about family. Not being switched at birth. Not my fiancé. Family. And speaking of family, you know that Erika-san is looking for him, right? And Mr. Amano kind of plays it off. Yep. You two must be getting so close. Gives me peace of mind. Nagi just kind of, grimaces at him. I'm gonna ask one more time. And then Mr. Amano interrupts him. By the way, if you want to talk about family, what are your thoughts on Sachi-chan? Nagi, turns away. Don't change the subject. Sachi-chan's a lovely girl. She really does look just like Erika. I suppose genetics is to thank for that. And Nagi kind of realizes what this line of questioning means. You've met Sachi? Briefly. Just a hello. And Nagi kind of, comforted by that, it looks like, sits down. You and Sachi-chan are rather close, aren't you? Haven't you figured it out yet? Nagi opens his eyes at that. If you were to just marry your little sister, it would wrap everything up quite nicely. What? 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 Hold on. What is your... Huh? What is he after? What is his goal? What? Why does he... Why would he want that? Why would he... What? What the fuck? That's my response to this line. What the fuck? And then we check in at, the Sagawa Shrine. As we see Hiro sweeping in her, shrine maiden duties, and two kids run up. Hey! Hey, miss! And Hiro looks at them. What is it? Let's play with these. We see she's carrying, a toy house with a little bear man, and an outfit that looks very similar to Nagi's school uniform. The Philadelphia family. And one of the girls asks her, you know him? Yeah, I used to play with these a ton when I was little. And then she takes a look at it. Although, doesn't this look like Umino-kun? Just what I said. She starts laughing. And one of the girls asks her, what's wrong, miss? Nothing, let's play. Yay! And then she sees another little toy in an outfit that looks very similar to... Is that Sachi's school uniform, or is that Erika's old school uniform? It's definitely, especially the blazer, is something we've seen before. And so, Hiro with them starts telling a story with the toys. I'm not sure if this is what the story of the toys is supposed to be, but she's making it work. Alright, once upon a time, there were two families, the bunnies and the bears. And we see them. And we see that the bear husband is very similar to Yohei. The bear parents are much more generic, as is the bunny mother. But the bunny father is definitely Yohei. One day, each family had a cute little baby, but somehow something happened. And when the babies were born, they accidentally got swapped. Now the parents didn't know, but they loved and cared for the children as their own. But one day, they found out that the children weren't theirs. They didn't know what to do. They loved both the child they'd raised and the child they'd given birth to. So what do you think they should do? And the bunny mom says, right, the solution is to just marry off the children. And that's how these two ended up engaged. So that's very clearly not the story that these dolls are supposed to tell. Even though the fact that, one looks like Umino and one very much looks like Erika cannot be ignored. The kids are also very confused. What the heck? I don't get it. And Hiro tells them, I don't either, honestly. But then she looks over, and she sees a doll that kind of very clearly looks like Sachi. The bunny has a little sister, which would mean, if Umino-kun and Sachi-chan got married, isn't that also a solution? Why is everyone just resorting to incest? Why is that the idea that everyone is having independently? And a solution to what? What is it a solution to? At least Mr. Amano has the excuse of having, grand plans that the audience doesn't have access to. Hiro doesn't know anything beyond what we know. So what is she even talking about? And then we cut to Nagi, who is exhausted after his conversation with Mr. Amino. Man, he just dodged every question. I didn't get a single answer about my brother. What is with that guy? He's slippery as hell. Are all execs like that? And this then gets a text from Erica. See? Went just like I said, right? Has he, like, we see him on his phone right before we see the text. Is that just him looking at the message, or has he sent a message to Erica already? I like the idea that he hasn't, and Erica just, like, knows. But we see Nagi very annoyed at her response. No, there's got to be another way to find him. And Nagi gets another notification, and he looks down, ecstatic, for a text from Hiro. You're cordially invited to a date. Round 2, tomorrow good for you? Okay. The confrontation with Papa Amino was a tragic failure, but Nagi's undeterred and continues the hunt. Next time, an earnest and straightforward journey with Hiro down the road of love, long though it may be. See you in the 45th vowel, so close and yet so far. Okay. I think it's obvious. This chapter is just leaning into Cuckoo's fiance's, like, worst impulses. From, like, page 9 onwards. It's just, like, kind of a hot mess. And there are parts that are good. There are, you know, some, like, pretty funny gags. The way the dolls happen to look exactly like, the Uminos and Aminos. The, like, separate photo albums for each year of Erika's life. How much Amino kind of, like, dodges the questions constantly that Nagi has for him are all kind of funny gags. But the problem, of course, is that both Mr. Amino and Hiro present the solution that Nagi and Sachi maybe should get together. And that's just really weird. That's just really weird. Especially there's this whole, it would wrap everything up quite nicely, that Mr. Amino says. And, like, what does that mean? Like, everything Mr. Amino has done has been to kind of put Nagi and Erika together. And then he comes in here like, hey, just marry Sachi. And I can't figure out why. And there's enough mystery to Mr. Amino that, like, he might just be playing, like, 4D chess or something. But it gets really weird when Hiro comes in with it. Isn't that also a solution? Hiro says to the idea. Which makes no sense. Because a solution to what? What is it a solution to? Like, what does it accomplish? Why? Why? And the thing that really bothers me is one thing when Sachi has her own separate chapters. Like, you have your main plot chapters, you have your Erika route chapters, your Hiro route chapters, and your Sachi route chapters, right? And it's one thing when the whole Sachi potential romance kind of sticks to her own, like, route chapters. But this is very much a main plot chapter. You know, it's supposed to be all about, you know, looking into Erika's brother. But then that's kind of messed up with just, hey, marry your sister. Like, why? Why? What is the point? What is the goal? Like, what does Amino want? Why would Hiro think it's a solution? There's no sensible reason Hiro would even think about that. Like, it comes so out of left field. You know, there's no real sense that like, I don't figure out what does Hiro think she's solving? Unless it's like, unless she's thinking about Shion, maybe, and her promise to help Shion get with Erika. Except the impression I got from that was that the whole point of that was that way she could get with Nagi, and her realizing her feelings for Nagi. But it's not that, apparently, because she's still okay with Nagi getting with Sachi for some fucking reason. Ugh. I don't know. This is, like, normally I can put those Sachi chapters out of mind as just, like, a weird thing that's going on in Yoshikawa's brain, but there's no sign that anyone really thinks of Sachi as endgame. But this is a chapter where I'm like, maybe she kind of does. I mean, like, I've compared this to Nisekoi a lot. That's kind of my big other harem series I've seen. Um, and while there were chapters, focused on the other girls besides Chitoge and Onodera, there was never really any doubt that the final girl would be one of them. But then here, it's like, I mean, there are a few hints there about maybe Marika, possibly, but it's very heavily implied to be either Chitoge or Onodera through the entire series. Here, though, all of a sudden, people are genuinely considering, look at especially with Mr. Amino, the whole full page, layout of those panels where he says that. Why? Why? Like, what's the plan here? And again, why the hell would Hiro be on board with this? Why would she, what is it a solution to? Isn't that also a solution to what? To what? What is the solution? Maybe she's thinking a solution to the story of the bears and bunnies, but the solution but the goal in the story, and just like in the real story, is to give both sets of parents the child they raised and the child they gave birth to as their own child. That's why Erika and Nagi were engaged in the first place. And doing Nagi and Sachi, given that to Nagi and Sachi, does nothing in any of that. The Aminotes are completely shut out, because Nagi was raised by the Uminos, and he has no affection for the Aminos, as we see in this chapter. It's just a really weird, really poorly thought out chapter. And I'm not on board with... I mean, also is the fact that next chapter is just like, let's completely ignore all that and go on another date with Hiro. For some reason, especially given how we left Hiro like 2 pages before that. It's another weird choice, and I'm worried that Hiro's gonna be like, hey, get with Sachi when he runs into her next time. And that's gonna be a mess. But anyway, that's chapter 44. It was a mess. And here's hoping next time we'll start to repair the damage that this one did. So, I'm gonna leave this video off here. Hope y'all enjoyed this chapter more than I did, and if not, hope you enjoyed the video at the very least. And if you did, feel free to drop me a like, or subscribe, or, do whatever makes you happy, And remember, your life is your own, okay? Bye!